We'll move a little bit into vision. So, could you maybe briefly share your vision for the Northwest Youth, and then who or what helped shape it, and then how you've worked to get others invested in it?
Yes. So the vision, that's a great question, because in leadership, this is a leadership class.
Yes.
You may not be a natural visionary. I'm actually a natural visionary, but there's people that aren't. But as a leader, then you either have to surround yourself with someone that can help you paint the picture and execute it, or you need to be the one that paints that picture. But you at least need to lead that picture and cultivate the culture that you want in within your whatever you're working in with people. So with the youth pastors, 250 churches, you want it to be tangible, you want it believable, not just inspirational. So as a vision, often we go inspiration, but there's no tangible, or it's not believable, so it never happens. So the vision that we have, that I've had for now, and I put a time and date to it too, for these are initiatives. There's values in leadership. This really vision, though, for the next 3 years is to disciple, with over 300 churches, disciple the next generation of church leaders, to disciple the next generation of church leaders to reach their communities for Jesus. And so what that means is, with all those different churches, I have a vision to go, hey, there's all these churches, but what can we all agree on, and what can rally your local church? Because you do a lot of programs, you have schedules, you're busy. What can we do on a network level that I can rally everybody, that would just add fuel to things we all can get behind? What are the three things? Well, the main thing, the vision, is to disciple the next generation of church leaders. Okay, well, then what does that look like within our ministries? Okay, so that's the vision. And now you're saying, how do you practically do that? Wasn't that kind of a question?
Yeah. So then, how do you work to get others, or how have you worked to get others invested in it?
So how you work to get others to do that is, now you help people to tangibly see, well, what does that even mean? We all can get excited. Don't you get excited as Christians? Oh, we're going to disciple the next generation of church leaders. We disciple all Christians, but we're zoning in and rallying this vision of next generation of pastors, missionaries, worship leaders, administrators within the local church, business pastors. We all as pastors get excited about that. There's kids sitting in our rows like that. Let's get excited. How can we help? So for us, then we have to put skin to that. What does that look like? So now we rally everyone, and everyone's getting on board with three areas. How do we disciple? We disciple the next generation of evangelists. So they need to evangelize now. Next generation of church leaders, pastors. I got excited when I started a Bible study in 8th grade. I was doing that before I even did it. Pastor's not a title, it's a calling. I was called way long before to be a pastor. Then a church offered me a full-time job, and I did the interview process. So that's nothing I walk with. I don't walk with pride with that. I walk with humility with that. And so on that, we want to get excited. I was evangelizing. Well, let's start helping our kids now. Well, where do you evangelize? Well, where you are. If we're going to have churches someday of adults evangelizing in their workplaces and being great men and women of God in their homes and showing gospel there, where are they right now? They're in their schools. So now we've rallied this vision of launching, get this, in 3 years, a vision, you're talking about vision, of launching 300 Youth Alive, their Bible clubs, within the schools in Washington, North Idaho, 300 of them. Okay, we can rally now the vision. What are we doing? We're discipling the next generation of church leaders. How with this time frame. Vision and rallying people needs to have also a time frame to it. Because vision can be long-term for a long time, but a lot of things in vision and leadership is short-term. It's these moments, right? And so right now we date it. We do it. We define it as we go, and defining it as, hey, 300 campus clubs. Then we're going to raise up 400 called students in our pipeline. That means kids that feel called into full-time ministry within our summer camps, within our different events, Youth Alive, within their youth ministries during the week. When they ask, hey, is anyone there that, like that missionary that asked me if I was called? We give those moments. Is there anyone here? I sense there's a call of someone's life here, maybe a pastor, a missionary. We now have a pipeline of a way we do call in the box, where kids can interact with certain ways of being discipled, a kind of a running start for future pastors and missionaries. We want 400 of them in the next 3 years, and then we on-ramp them into like Northwest University, other Bible schools, to get their training and launch them into ministry of service within our network. So that's that right there. People can get excited about. So 300, 400, and then 500,000, 500,000 for Speed the Light missionaries. If we're going to raise up the next generation of church leaders, of disciples, they also have to be a generous people. Not only future tithers, but if students need to go, you know what can I give now to missionaries and have a heart for missions? And so when students catch the fire for missions now, they also catch the fire of the local church later within their local churches when they have jobs and believing in that mission. And we get to cultivate that now as pastors. It's not about the 500,000. It's about the missionaries and all over the world that are being impacted by teenagers. That's exciting. Yeah. Everyone wants to be a part of that. So we have exciting, it's the money's, okay, cool. It helps support these ministries all over the world, but it's what it's doing in the students' hearts. So those are the three things around that vision of discipling the next generation of church leaders together that you can rally 300 churches around.
That's cool. Can you share me, like, who or what helped shape those initiatives? You have them, so where did those come from?
Yeah, so we have a national office of the Assemblies of God, and all three of these initiatives, called Initiative, Youth Alive, and Speed the Light, it's called, that 500,000 for missionaries. The Assemblies of God is, I think, the second, but it's one of the largest missionary organizations in the world. There's missionaries all over the world. And what we get to do is help kids see that. And so that was shaped up at nationals. There's probably 20 different things. And that's the thing about leadership. Everybody's going to tell you what's important, but you as the leader have to paint the picture of not what's least important or a lack. You're not comparing, but what's the most important right now in the season of the ministry for me that's moving the ball forward of discipleship in people's lives. And what do we need to hone in on focus? So that's what's so tough about leadership and why some churches just don't grow. It's not because they don't have great pastors. We know that leadership and pastorship are two different things. And just because you're a good pastor doesn't make you a good leader. I've heard a lot of great messages preached in empty rooms. The pastor was awesome. Theology was key, but there was zero leadership in that church. And so because everybody's going to tell you what's the most important, and you as the leader, though, if you don't lead and tell them, no, we're focusing on this, then you never do anything. And so you have to walk humbly and carefully and in prayer for that. But that's what stops churches and gets them to die and old and not reaching new generation, because we're not trying to get them to change doctrine. It's maybe shifting perspective and how people engage and how we do that, how we facilitate that, and we don't get all locked up in our ways in that. It takes leadership with that as a pastor. So anyways, that goes back with nationals as well, is that it takes leadership for me to go, hey, everybody, that's all great. But if these three things are going well, then all those other things are going to work out. Really, as a leader, all that other stuff people care about will work out and function, and those values will be met. Yeah. So cool. Sorry, I'm really passionate about leadership, so I love that this is what your class is.
Yes.
So do you actually show this video in class or is this for your notes?
So I'll have to post this video. I'll have to upload it to YouTube and then turn in a link to it.
Oh, cool. Your teacher watches it.
Yeah, and then my teacher will watch it. So
very cool.
Yeah, I may pull out a couple clips to share with our student leadership team, but
great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited too, so this gets me excited. Let's see. What can I and other youth leaders and interns do to help you support that vision? Or to help
youth
support
leaders?
That, yeah.
Yeah, I think the first thing in my line of work and what I'm doing, the greatest way is to first ask your youth pastor, your local leadership, what that looks like, or what they think it looks like within those three things, and seeing that vision fulfilled. So I get to help say, hey, here's some vision, but we don't lead in authority. My role is not authority. Mm-hmm. It's actually more influence. Huge thing in leadership. I'd way rather lead in influence than authority. Because if you have authority, people will do what you tell them to do. But if you have influence, people want to be a part of what you're a part because they want to be a part of it. And I would way rather be leading a church or any kind of leadership organization with influence, with authority. Now, I'll have seasons when you're a lead pastor, you probably have both, right, in certain things. But there are people that have authority that do not have influence at all. You've been in their classes or you've been worked for them. or you've seen leadership have this authority, but then they don't really have influence with the people. And so within my role, that's definitely where I lean, is more the influence portion. So people don't have to be a part of this. They want to be a part of it. So with the youth pastor, I would ask them, hey, these are 3 things a part of our network. If you're in our network, that I hear our network youth leader, youth pastor kind of sharing. Where do you see these manifesting within our ministry? Because maybe you have a Bible study, you just don't call it Youth Alive. Mm-hmm. Way to go. What you can do for me is not hang up on that and tell your youth pastor, you need to say it's Youth Alive. You shouldn't do that. Yeah. You need to follow. That's not what I need from you. Even though I'm really excited about Youth Alive, we don't need that kind of thing going on. Mm-hmm. We just need you to ask, hey, what are those things? And then the ones that maybe are lining up with that whole call, or Youth Alive or Speed the Light, and they're doing that, and that's the name it's going. That's the one I would say, hey, go in there and just put fire in that and ask how you can be more a part of that.
Okay.